Hey guys, just another update. Today is Saturday, December 10th, and I forgot to mention that we got to Arizona last weekend. We did get set up in our site that we'll be at for a couple of months now. We had our work week. We had evenings free. This is our first weekend really since we got here for an extended period. I thought maybe I'd share a little bit about how the plumbing works, not at a deep dive, but just at the simplistic user level, how we hook up water, how water comes in, how water goes out, kind of how those systems operate at a simple level, because some people have asked and it's just not a known until you've done it, or if you haven't watched a lot of YouTubes about it yourself. So hope you enjoy seeing how this part of things works. So the plumbing setup really starts, I would say, at the inbound, right? So we have a water faucet outside. The attachment you see is a water pressure regulator. If you don't attach one of these and the water pressure happens to be too high, you can actually blow out the plumbing system in your rig. It does happen. It's not just somebody being over worried. This pressure regulator gives me a visual, and you want to be between 40 and 60 pounds PSI. And this one is tunable. There's a screw here that lets me add or reduce pressure. We have good water pressure in the house, so we're not going to set it too high. Some people would connect this straight in, and they take on risk by doing so. They also make fixed water pressure regulators. It's just a straight piece of brass that has a set amount of, say, 40 PSI that it limits you to. We like this tunable one where we can also see the numbers. It's not a whole lot more, but anyway. So then you need a freshwater hose. It needs to be rated for fresh water, not just any old hose like when we were kids drinking out of the garden hose. That was apparently unsafe. And then that comes straight into here. This is a water filter system. There's 3 steps to it, 3 filters, clear down to the virus level. Of course, the Starlink router that we talked about previously. And then there's the Audi cable. It comes out of the filter after going through 3 filters total. And I guess while I'm talking filters, I should point out that the motorhome actually has its own filter built in, so I guess we're going through 4, but this one certainly made a difference. The water is very good now that we have that filter in line. And then you follow that white hose, again, drinking water hoses, into this city water connection, they call it. And from here, when the water's on, we have water pressure in the house and no need for water pumps. So if we want to fill our tanks, we switch this handle down from city water down to tank fill, and that would immediately make the water flow into our 150-gallon freshwater holding tank. But when we're running on city water, we leave it set the way it is now. We do keep some water in the tank, so if the city water or the park water were to fail, we're not stranded without water. If we need to use our own water tank, this switch, there's a switch on the outside and multiple locations inside to turn this on. If Rhoda inside were to push the button to turn the pump on, this light would come on and I would know instantly that it was on. And then the other side of the formula for water is for plumbing. This is the inbound. Next is the outbound. So in this bay, we have, what you can see is 2 release handles, the black tank release and the gray release. You leave the gray open if you want to, you don't have to, but if you leave it open, you don't have to come out and dump it. You leave the black closed. The gray is sinks and showers, soapy water basically. The black is everything that goes in the toilet. And if you leave the black open, the liquid will run out down this hose that you see here, and the solid will stay behind, which is not what you want. So you put an enzyme treatment into the black tank each time you empty it, and 4, 5, 6 gallons of water, and then that lets the breakdown of the black material occur. And then when it is time to dump, you want to wait till it's nearly full to dump. You would close the gray, capture some gray through a couple of showers or doing the dishes or whatever, and you start then with dumping the black. Let it go all the way out. Once the black is out and dumped, hook a water hose up, not the freshwater hose, but a non-freshwater hose to this tank flush nozzle. What that does is there's a sprinkler system inside that tank that will spray around and clean that tank really, really well. So you want to let that run for several minutes. There's an adapter at the end of the hose I'm about to show you where you can see what is flowing through the hose, and you want that water to be clear and not black or brown. And then you know that your black tank has been cleaned really well. So again, when it's time to dump the black tank, we close the gray for a day or so and capture some of that, because then we want to open the black, drain it, run the tank flush that we just looked at, and then we open the gray because we want this gray water to run through this hose and clean it out with soapy water, not just leave the black water in there. So that's the process there, and you can see that we're already hooked up. When you can stay hooked up, that's nice, because then it's super convenient when it's time to dump tanks. Everything's already there. So then from through the floor there, it comes down, and we have this stand which keeps it flowing in the downhill direction. It is recommended to install or insert a P-trap that holds a little bit of fluid. Sometimes bugs can apparently get in the hose from the sewer system and come up into the house. We had a couple bugs. We didn't know where they came from, so I did put this P-trap in it, and it doesn't affect the ability for the house to drain. So that's been good to have. But this one hose dumps the gray and the black, just based on those valves over there and what's open. And then it attaches over here. There's a little bit of condensation this morning, but as it's dumping, you can see the gray or black tank flushing down into the attachment for the dump site here. We have full hookups, meaning we have sewer hookups at our location. We don't have to drive around to a place here to dump. We just open the valves and they go. This is unrelated to the water system. That's the power cord. We can talk power in another video, but I just wanted to kind of walk through how the plumbing side of this thing works and share that with you guys.